One evening, as the city buzzed with life, David, a young professional new to the area, was walking home from work. The streets were bathed in the golden glow of streetlights. A chilling voice caressed his ear. "They're watching you." He stopped, heart pounding, and glanced around, but saw no one. Shaking off the unease, he quickened his pace. As days passed, the whispers intensified. At work, as he typed away at his computer, "They're plotting against you." At home, while he tried to relax, "You can't trust them." David began to unravel. Paranoia seeped into his thoughts. He started avoiding colleagues, convinced they were conspiring against him. David isolated himself, the whisperer's influence growing stronger. One stormy night, unable to sleep, David sat in his dimly lit apartment. The whisperer's voice was now a constant presence, weaving tales of betrayal and danger. Driven to the brink, he decided to confront his neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, an elderly woman. The whisperer insisted she was spying on him. Grabbing a flashlight, he stepped into the hallway. As he approached her door, the whispers grew more urgent, more demanding. But before he could knock, the door creaked open. Swallowing hard, he stepped inside, calling out softly, "Mrs. Thompson." The only response was the whisperer's chilling command, "End it." Suddenly, a cold hand grasped his shoulder, and he spun around, coming face to face with Mrs. Thompson, her eyes wide with fear. "David, what are you doing here?" she whispered, her voice trembling. The whisperer's voice rose to a deafening roar. In a daze, David reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, concealed knife. Mrs. Thompson's eyes widened in horror as she backed away, pleading, "David, please don't." But the whisperer's hold was too strong. Just as he took a step forward, a loud crash echoed from the hallway, breaking the whisperer's spell for a fleeting moment. David blinked, confusion clouding his features. Seizing the opportunity, Mrs. Thompson bolted past him, fleeing into the night. Breathing heavily, David dropped the knife, his mind a whirlwind of fear and regret. As he stood there, the whisperer's voice softened, almost soothing now as it whispered, "This isn't over." David knew, with a sinking dread, that the entity wasn't finished with him, that it would return, and next time, he might not be able to resist its dark commands.